Hello and welcome, and let's talk about the buy low, sell high strategy for the purpose of trying to gain altcoins. We'll assume stocks are alternate coins to the US dollar, for what it's worth. And this is what BAC, Bank of America, looked like as it was crashing in 2008, 2009, falling from 51 down to like under 4, losing well more than a 10x value. Okay, that meant a lot of people would have been losing big. But when you get in a situation when you're selling up here, to me, that just means buy, order, fill, city. We'll get back to this chart, but first, let's take a look at GE. And I got some lines in here. I'll explain them very soon. No, they're buy low, sell high. But on the daily term time frame for GE over the last couple of years, to say it's been getting its ass kicked would be an understatement. Looking at such on the monthly chart, we had a top in 2016 of around 31, down to about 7. So it's lost more than 4 times its value, retesting the 2008 previous low. We look at the entirety of everything here. And I got these lines in because I played the buy low, sell high strategy. And from this low in 1980 to this high, I had not a single buy order hit. As you can see, the 1987 market crash, my buy order was like $3. Let's just show it more clearly in here. As this was coming down, well, this buy order didn't hit at 309. So all of the orders that I had in here, of course, bought, sell, buy. And to show you in perspective on a spreadsheet how that would have translated, I entered in at the original price of 71 cents. I started with a 5,000 bankroll, which would have costed, and I'm using a 0.1% rate. This is for purposes of looking at cryptos. And this is going back to the early 1970s, as we will be with BAC as well. So with $5,000, you could have bought $7,035 plus the change. I got rid of the decimals after the first trade of 88 cents, trading 735 of the 7,000 for $645. So on the right, this would reduce or increase values accordingly. But as we can see, selling numbers here, you sell at 88, 120, and the buyback rule like this. I sold 735 and change for 645 units, then 800 for almost 1,000. So then the buyback. So after selling at 120, buying back at 85 for almost the cost of what I sold it for, 952 being almost that of 958, I was able to get 1120 or an extra amount of 320. And on this buyback, I bought back 975 when I originally sold about 735. So I made myself $1.55 plus less than 240 coins, or in this case, GE stocks. So then the selling mantra started. This is when 1980 started all the way for 2 decades. And in crypto space, that would be, 6 months maybe? Well, we'll see how. But it could even be 6 weeks. However, selling at 97, 133, then at 176, and so on and so forth. The numbers just keep on going higher and higher. Sell amounts, these numbers get lower, but the dollar amount units get higher. That's very important, I think, within this strategy. And I never want to undersell. Meaning, if, for example, say the market gains 50%, so it's worth, for every 1 unit is worth 1.5. You don't want to sell more than a third of what you own, maybe even noticeably less, like a quarter or something like that. But then as we continue on, this takes us here to 45.97, down to 875, starting off with 7,000 of these things, and having 47,000 units of cash at that time, of course starting with 5,000 of them as well. But here we have the buybacks again. We sold last for 91.75, buy for 9,000, differential of over 100. And then the next one, 250, turned into 395, and then another sell order at 37, selling 375, gaining 125 coins. And this time, instead of getting a couple dollars for coffee, the differential from this price to this price is about over 68, enough to buy an okay dinner. And then all these buy orders come in, get 4 of them fill, and then we have 3 sell orders get filled, and then the most recent decline has had 3 buy orders get filled. So at the time of the the 7 would have just been bought, just like recently, because it just hit there. And the value of 3,990 of these coins at the 707 price would be worth 28,209. And then you you add the $14,000 cash waiting in buy orders. That would come to 42,413. Where if you would have just bought the 7,035 of these coins and did nothing with the price at 71 cents, price about almost 10x from that point, you would have barely been higher. And generally speaking, within this strategy, if the market just goes way up, it's going to be very difficult to overperform it. But these extra moves have made it so it can be done. And BAC being a little more volatile will be very interesting to see how these results will go. So then let's now go to the charts. And before we go to the Bank of America, if you bought here, you put a sell order here, so maybe somewhere around here. And then the previous buy order waiting would be in at 445. But now let's go back to Bank of America to the early 1970s. And the date would be 1974. I'm not born yet, but I'm a little over a year away. So therefore, $2 was the price back then. And somebody said, man, you got to get into banking. It's like the future. It's going to survive at least until 2018, 2019, one might say back then, of course, being sarcastic on the years and on many fronts as well. But we'll use that as the entry point. If I had it used up here at 4.5, I would easily be overperforming the hodling position because I'd be buying at 286, buying at 195, buying all the way down. And then obviously, again, it's going to go higher from here. So you're $1. We're looking at major moves. Like in cryptos, you want to avoid 15, 20% moves and anything lower than that. But if you're selling at a 148 on a one buy, then that would be about 50%. Buying at 1, selling at 150 is 50. So 2 basis points higher and lower would mean the noticeably well above 40 and barely below 50. So we'll put one in there. Maybe we'll put one in, say, around here. And then go back to previous resistance and maybe even raise this up a little bit. I would normally put buy orders in, but I already know this is the bottom, so I'm just going to not do so. And let's continue on. And at this stage, I put a buy order back at the previous level of trade. What was the number? 148. So let's put the buy order back at previous low area. Maybe go 91. Hey, I mean, if I would have known in advance, well, let's just do 104. Let me just play in advance because I know the history and I can get a better results. Well, that's good to see how amazing results can transpire if you get those plays. But being real, if you had your buy order here and it came down there, then you miss. My psychological strategy is if I want to buy in this area, I'm going to do a hair above 1, which with the low being exactly 1 would have meant I would have got the buy on that basis number. But all things aside, you just wait for the next play. And there's your sell at 264. You have to decide where you want to buy back. And you'd be looking in this area of like maybe the previous low at $1.50, maybe going like in here. But still good differential nonetheless. And then there's the next sale at 475. So where would I want to buy that back at? Could go here. You get better volatility if maybe You come down here, maybe you want to lift this one up a little bit here, and then put this one at this previous low. We're going to need more sell orders now. So we'll just go like this. We'll put 3 more in. Of course, I know 4. It's going to be higher than 5 in anyway. We're going to go. So 475. If you want 50% on top of that, we're going close to 7. So you go maybe 697. And then maybe we can go close to about around that of maybe around 11. And then somewhere around like 1734. So those would be the new sell orders. And let's roll it through. We hit that one. Turn this into a buy order. We already got 2 sell orders up top, so we'll continue on going, but we got the buy that gets filled in here at 4.4. And put the sell order back at previous high and hit like almost immediately. I'm just going to lower this one a little bit only to spread the difference of these 2 more equal. And I know I got another sell order in place, I think. I got 2. And there's the 11 that gets hit. Bring this back to where it came from, somewhere around in here is fancy enough. And, well, there's a decent size hit. You got 2 buy orders getting filled. That means the decline on this was worse in 1990 than it was during the 87 market crash. We'll put this buy order near market high. And put this one up noticeably. I mean, we did 4, so we could pretty much even go like 7, maybe a hair below. Well, that's fine. We'll keep it there. And it hits, so yeah. And that's what times I think of when I make trades. Like, if you're thinking about where your number is, maybe go a little lower or higher. Oftentimes when I see these lines, it usually goes higher. So if you're like 712, yeah, you can go 720, 730, and you can see how 750 that they would all have worked as well. But regardless, I'm going to pick the number that I choose. When you put your orders in, the market would do the exact same thing anyway. Put this buy back at previous low. And that sell order hits. So we'll go back again to maybe a key little area around here, 7 1/5. And I know I got one more sell order. There we go, and it's a hit. What was 1734? Place this line in, ready to buy. Say maybe around the 10. We're gonna need some more sell orders. So 1734 was the last trade. So maybe go, and that could have been a little higher. Now I'm looking at the numbers, but it is what it is. 23, well then we'll go after that, we'll say go 31 and then go 47. Maybe just increase this a bit to 33. Those are the 3 next ones in place. And we got that one hit. And this came back to about an area around here. I'll even reduce this down a bit as well. Reduce this a bit. And then we have another sell order hit at the 33.62 mark. And as far as an area here, hair above 20 seems fine for me. Good differential move. And this one comes close to hitting, but not quite. As does the support buy as well, close. Of course, now we're entering the top period, so that's why buy orders are going to come into place. So in a spot like this order would have to get moved. Either, for me, my strategy, either here, right here around 43 or bring it north like 53, 56, 57. And we're going to bring it north to 56, 57 because this buy order will probably come in the area of a nice lower high somewhere around 31 or so. So therefore, let's move this up to maybe there. Maybe go somewhere around this previous high area here, around 34. And if it breaks this resistance, then that's a decent sized move from there. And then hit that sell order nicely. And then we'll move this back down again. Multiple hit area here, 22. That's a different. I mean, that's a good size price differential, and it's also, and you can even go maybe a bit lower, as I was saying, like 21 and change. Close to the sell, but not quite, and well, 2008's in play. Now, question is, would we have bought this? I mean, I have to technically look at this and think, like, where would you stand from that? You come at the, you go to your computer at the end of every month to adjust your portfolio here. That's because this is a monthly chart, but we'll put the 2168 in. And as the numbers have been working, sell at 33, buy at 20. Sell at 34, buy at 20. So you got to be thinking, are you going to stick back with this 34 number again? Are we going to work up to 37? When looking at this, especially if you were to say to buy it at this low, I'd be looking at this congestion area around 35, 36. Because, again, you're back in here, you just got the buy-in. Where would I place it? Being as real as I could, as real can be, I would probably tend to do a little bit here, and then it would have hit. So that's where we would stand here at 35.89. And I know it goes down here, and even back then I knew it was going to go down even more back at that time frame. But let's just assume you go in and you put in another one, 22, and both that and the 14 would hit. Did the 9? I don't think the 9 hit. You know what? Let's just put all the buys in from here. I mean, this is where everyone's panicking on the crash, and you're just accumulating coins much cheaper than you sold before. And then you can put some more sell orders in. So this one will move, say, somewhere up here to around here. Maybe move this one up to about a little lower than that, maybe 32. Move this one up to about 22. Move the 6 one up to about 13, maybe a little higher. 14. Move the 4.5 one up to 951, and then this 278 one that got hit. Maybe move that up to close to 6. A lot of times I'll say on here to play your volatility with what's a given upon you. And if you're normally playing for whatever, like if you're playing for 25-30% plays, this is where you know, I mean, this thing can, I mean, if it's going to rally, we're talking about going to like 11, 12, like 3-4x moves become so probable here when they're ready to happen. And we can see here that maybe you can say it's a mistake to sell here because you know it's going to go higher. And then another counter argument is, okay, the math works. I sell here, I'm going to put a buy order lower and keep on going from that point on. Well, 3 sell orders would get hit. So therefore we put these back into buy orders. So 3 were sales, this becomes a buy. We'll put this in, say, at 4, and then put this one in at about maybe 621. And continue playing this high volatility, missing a sale order here, but getting a buy at 621. And then when looking at these price buys, before it was buy at 102, sell at 148, 264. Good percentage moves. You're never going for the double play, but 278 selling at 615. And now the last sale at 1409 is done better than half off. And the better percentages you can get, well, mathematically, that's really good. So now we're going to look at 621, and where do we want to flip that back at? You can go higher than that a little bit, maybe even like 13. So that's basically a double flip if it goes through. Well, I know in time it will. There's time. And then we'll put this back at some sort of previous key level like this. And then have that sell order get executed. So where do we want to buy this back? We would probably say, based on having a nice incremental level from here back to where you came from. I could do this support low, but I'd rather do this resistance area here. We'll do that point. After all, I'm looking to get big numbers as far as price differential. Did this hit? I think it did hit. Yeah, because I got 32.82 and the high is I see 33.05. So yes. And we'll put this back to an area where it came from. And that's where we stand now. Okay. So that's where you would be as far as the market is concerned. In another video, most likely it's which will be on Boxing Day, December 26th, I'm going to take this data and put it into that same spreadsheet. We'll go over orders, order management, how much you would put to, how much you would be looking to sell at different points, what percentage of your holdings, and then the results, of course, would follow after that. So for now, that is the end of this video. We'll look at this. So when you're looking at your trades on how you'd be going, you would still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buy orders ready to go. And you'd have more sell orders in place. It's just I don't need to put them in because I know there's none of those big moves. I knew putting 3 at a time, and if I needed new ones, I could easily put them in. And it worked effectively. But this is to show this mathematical strategy, because it is a numbers game. It is only price pays. It's price action game. And this is, of course, just to help understand and just show examples of such. And going into charts, rewinding in time, and doing these types of exercises yourself, I think are really beneficial to really get you in tune with whichever trading strategies that one is using. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.